Hey Pierre.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm good. I was expecting the.
The big theme music. I just, eh, I don't think we need the big theme music today. I don't know. Just could be
Yeah.
me. How's it going,
How
buddy?
you been? You
Oh,
are not in the Jayhawk.
I'm not in the Jayhawk and I'm not at home. I'm in my sister's lovely guest room in Northport, New York.
North Fourth
Northport, New York. It's out on the
North Fourth
island. We're out on the island.
on the island by Long Island.
Long Island.
You're not that far from me. It's only
No, I'm
about
not.
8 hours drive.
Or I think a 5 hour train. Why drive when you can train?
Yep.
But yeah, it's been a while. It's Vizio MVP saying, "Hey, number two for the year." Yes,
I know. I know. It's one of those things where the day job interferes with the fun stuff.
it does. It's been one of those years of wow, just a lot of interference.
Yep.
I don't know
Oh,
about you. It's been a busy one for sure.
it has, and it's. I'm looking. I'm looking at my upcoming schedule for September, October, November, and now December.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to figure out when, because normally me and some of my friends, like what Rick refers to as the French Mafia, um,
Mm-hmm.
we normally do like a boys trip. We go south, just the guys, and kind of like get stupid for a week and drink too much and eat too much and sleep in and
So is that called a conference?
well, yeah, but without having to actually work doing it.
Oh, okay, okay. Just
And but now I'm looking at yeah, the AI tour starts in September. We have to build the content. We're building the content now. Um, then we have the Ignite in November,
November. Yep.
which means that in October we'll be building and finalizing the content for Ignite that we're already working on. Um, then in December, well, end of November, December, where the dates have not been completely announced. There will be another little community event like we did, like the one we did for Windows Server.
Okay.
So
That
now
should
I'm
be
looking at
interesting.
all of that, and I'm like, okay, where can I find a week in there to go away?
I completely understand. I'm actually here because my sister and brother-in-law and the kids are going on a cruise next week. So I'm going to be close to mom, hang out with her for the week, do some work from here.
But the thing is,
Uh-huh.
I have 5 weeks left of vacation to take.
See, we now have DTO in the US, so I can just take time off whenever. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's say hi. Let's say hi to a few folks in the chat room.
yeah. Oh,
And I keep getting wireless caller calling me on my work line. Somebody's trying to get a hold of me. I bet it has to do with my car's warranty.
we've been trying to reach you about your extended warranty.
Let's say hi
So
to the
you
folks
don't.
over in the chat room. We've got, of course, Vizio MVP welcoming us back. Thank you, Vizio MVP. Absolutely. We've got Janice Q, Cooper's Human. So good to see you here, John, and GoGo Gadget 360. Thank you all for joining us. Yeah, .NET Code Warranty. Thank you, GoGo Gadget. That works. Yeah. Have you updated your drivers recently?
Oh God, no. Well,
Uh,
I did. I did. Actually, I did. I did. And we'll talk about that.
well, and we also have hasn't talked yet, but KT Baker's in the house. Good to have you here, and I am Curious Mauve. I will also say we talked about it. I think a while ago. I got myself a nice gaming laptop to be able to do some certain things on the road, like video and photo editing.
Yep.
Uh, um, well, I will say this. I haven't used it in such a long time. I had to basically spend the whole morning patching it with all the updates. So, reminder, everybody, keep your machines up to date. And
Well, but be careful with the what driver you install.
yes, I typically go with the drivers from Windows Windows Update.
Yes. Or in my for depends on what. Like I just switched my video card. I had an Intel Arc A770, like with the 16 gigs of RAM.
Yeah.
But I was having some issues because some of the programs that I'm using at home for work, because I've switched to also DaVinci Resolve from the Adobe Suite.
Yeah.
And DaVinci, the encoder, even though I was using the AV1 encoder, which is native to the Intel cards, it was taking forever to encode a video, and I couldn't spend that much time, so I ended up because the original card that was in that box, the Intel I paid for.
Right.
So the original card that was in there starting to be flaky. Couple ports in the back had kind of fried, so whatever you'd plug in there wouldn't detect anything. Like one display port and one of the HDMI was gone. Anyway, so I got some budget, and the office. I bought a 4080 Super. 4080 or 4070? I can't remember. I don't know where the box is.
Probably 4070.
4070 Super. And it works great. So for that one, I don't use the Windows drivers. I use the NVIDIA drivers, the studio drivers, because they're tuned for encoding.
Yeah. Yeah. Typically, I'll update the NVIDIA drivers from NVIDIA, but for the most part, I get the main drivers and system drivers. In this case, it's a Lenovo. I do use a Lenovo app to get its drivers, but I do not let Lenovo update the video drivers. I will update NVIDIA directly myself because it has a mobile NVIDIA 3070. This one has. Or 4070. You got 4070. I'm just actually trying to remember what's in this.
And it's the 4070 Ti Super.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I'm sorry. This only has a 4060 mobile.
Hashtag not sponsored, but NVIDIA, if you're listening.
Or Lenovo. We'll gladly take Lenovo's dollars too.
All my laptops are Lenovo's now.
Yeah. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
My daily driver is the X1 Yoga, and my demo machine is the TP something Gen 4.
Nice.
P1 Gen 4.
Yeah, I got this guy on a good deal. It is a Lenovo Legion Pro 5. It's got the i7. It's got the RTX 4060. I primarily am using it for doing. I didn't want to take my desktop on the road when I go out doing photography or video shoots.
Yep.
And so this is going to be my little rig. It's what, a 16-inch laptop? I mean, it's huge. The brick is heavier than the laptop because it's a 200-watt 200-watt brick.
The bricks are big. It's like that for my Lenovo, the P1, the brick is huge.
Yeah. I will admit, though, I am enjoying the hell out of my, now that I can speak about it, my Surface Laptop 7.
The with the Snapdragon CPU.
Yes, the Snapdragon. And my lovely power supply for it that's third party. Again, hashtag not sponsored, but thank you, Anchor. I can power it from a little brick like this. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
I had a buddy of mine that has a little print shop, like he prints on vinyl and stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
he for my laptops, he made me these.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
So
Yeah. The desktop
yeah, cool.
that I still have has a 3080. I'm curious. Mom says I'm here. I am using a 3090 like a sucker. Hey, I've got a 3080 in my desktop. It's just right now it's in storage while I'm in the um, the Jayhawk. And
Yeah.
I got to say, traveling with this, even with the normal Surface bricks, this is so much better. I got this actually. I had it shipped to my sister's house. And if we can see here, it's got two USB-C and one USB-A, 100 watt. I can
I know.
literally power two laptops with this.
Okay. But let's talk about techie testing and production stuff. I was going to say
Okay.
the S word, but I kind of caught myself at the end here.
Yes, thank you.
It is a family show.
It is a family show. Yep.
Problems with the Snapdragon X.
Let's
Have you
talk
had
about it.
any?
Honestly, I have not. I have now. That's caveated. That's caveated. I cannot use my Go XLR with my Snapdragon.
That's
Why?
the issue.
Drivers.
Yep.
Drivers.
Same thing for beacon mics, mix
Yep.
creates, any kind of like
Specialty.
IM audio.
Yeah, specialty, especially for podcasting type devices. Um, I no longer can use my Go XLR with this device, so it's been packed up and put with the desktop.
But it's not just the Go XLR. It's like even Rick,
Mhm.
who's also rocking one of those as his daily driver,
Yeah,
had to switch back to the old AT 2020 dynamic mic, condenser
yeah.
mic,
I
because
actually, I actually am able to keep my Aston Stealth that I had plugged into the Go XLR. Thank you to Mr. Pierre who shipped me a Shure. What was it? It's a Shure USB to XLR. I can't remember the model number though.
yeah, I can't remember the model number. I can find it, but it's
Hmm.
basically it's like a little barrel, XLR
Yeah,
on one end, USB A,
B, B.
USB B on the other side.
Hmm.
And there's a little switch on it for
Phantom
phantom
power,
power. There's
and
a
it has
gaming
a
directory on it and a monitor plug on it as well.
exactly. I've been using it actually as my monitor with my headsets.
Yeah, but the difference is that as for this, when the Windows sees it as a generic USB device.
It sees this as a generic USB audio device,
Yeah, so it doesn't
and it
need a
sees
specific driver.
yeah, and it sees both the microphone and the speaker jack, which is
Yeah.
great.
But
So
even
yeah,
the Elgato Wave mic
hmm
doesn't work with the Snapdragon X.
nope, because they have the specialty drivers, and there's no AMD 64 drivers for it.
Exactly. Yet.
Yet, hopefully, yet I have reservations about the Go XLRs. I just don't see them supporting it.
I did talk to the Beacon people.
You did.
They said they had no plan at the time because
Mm-hmm.
it is a pretty edge case when like you don't normally carry your all of your gear on a
Yeah.
laptop.
Yeah.
So we are probably the very few that actually kind of travel around with microphones and
But one thing I've noticed is a lot of streamers are using, they have secondary devices that they use to like run a lot of their, so they have their games and stuff on a big, big desktop and everything. But then they have like their audio and their chat rooms through other devices. And those are tending to be laptops now.
a full match. I know. And I'm
So,
trying to find I was watching Araceller
Mm-hmm.
from Senpai Gaming, and this week he had a review of a new device that is made from the same company that the Osbot
Mm-hmm.
PTZ cameras,
Yeah.
where it's a little 5-inch screen. It's an AMOLED screen, so very bright. It's
Mm-hmm.
got 2 video inputs, so 2 HDMI in. It's got all of the bells and whistles, and you can stream and record directly from it.
Wow.
It's basically the size of a phone, but a little thicker.
Yeah. That's great. And it's one of those interesting things. You're also seeing, for example, Twit, Leo Laporte's podcasting thing. There used to be a big podcasting network with several people working there. It's now they've had to let people go because the podcasting world has gotten less money. They're actually giving up their studios and going to basically the kind of thing that we do. In that, he's going to be up into the attic. He's got a little setup. He's using OBS. They used to have big switchers. They were first when they first started. They were on the TriCaster, just like we were on Patch and Switch up at the Channel 9 studios. Big TriCasters. Now, they're having to do things to save money. Oh, and there we go for the subscribe button. But yeah, there you go. Great little device.
Multicam live streaming studio.
Mm-hmm.
It's not cheap.
No, but still, when you compare that to back in the day, the old TriCasters, which were $20,000, $30,000.
Yeah.
Now you could do it with a little box that costs $16,000. It's amazing.
So if you look at that, it's like you got your inputs on the side. It got Ethernet on it.
Yeah.
And
nice.
and an SD card so you can record directly to it. So it's basically a studio in a little tiny form factor that you can easily stick in your suitcase and leave with.
Yeah.
So
literally a studio in a bag.
Yeah.
But no, I get it. Cooper Humans talks also about the ATEM from Black Magic. Yep.
But the ATEM Mini does not work again with the Snapdragon X.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's no skin off my nose because I'm not rocking a Qualcomm CPU, but
yeah, I am. So.
One thing that I have changed in my setup though is I am now rocking a let me bring it down. My voice is going to go funny though, but
you have a shotgun mic now?
I now have a shotgun mic.
Nice.
I've been doing a lot of demos and recording a lot of demos and stuff for the product groups that I work with. And I found that the microphone here is between me and the keyboard. So having to do a lot of like demos while I'm recording and talking to the camera was getting annoying because I had always had to kind of look sideways or put the microphone or the keyboard into a location where it's not easy to type for me.
Right.
So I decided to see if I could, and I got a good deal on a used one. It's the NTG4 from Rode.
Oh, nice one. Yeah.
The guy that I bought it from was upgraded to the NTG4 Plus, which has, if you're traveling with it, if it's mobile, the Plus is a must.
So that's not just the streaming version of the NTG.
No, it's because it actually has a lithium-ion battery built into the mic.
Okay.
So because it requires phantom power to work, the Plus has the built-in battery. The
Got it.
4 doesn't.
Okay.
So if you want to plug it into a camera, like
You have to have something that can provide the phantom power.
like if you want to plug it into something like this,
Yeah,
unless you have something to provide the phantom power, not going to work.
exactly.
So I got a good price on it, and so I decided to try it out. And I have to admit, at first, because now I had to go get another XLR interface,
Hmm.
which led to more random spending.
Of course it does.
Um,
Of course it does.
yeah, but I ended up getting something kind of cool. Let me see if
What'd
I
you
can
get?
switch this.
What'd
here.
you get this time?
So I got the Stream Deck Plus with the XLR docks bundle.
Ah.
So it's a Stream Deck Plus. It's the
Mm-hmm.
exact same thing, except
Mm-hmm.
that and I don't know where I put it. Oh yeah, it's right here.
I don't know where I put it. Oh, it's right here.
It's right here. So the base of the Stream Deck Plus,
Mm-hmm.
2 screws. You remove it, put the XLR dock on it, screw back in. It uses the same USB port on the
Mm-hmm.
back. And now at the back of the XLR dock, you get an XLR port, a monitor port, and a USB.
Got it. So is that USB pass through? So that's what the XLR comes in, or the Stream Deck
So
comes into.
one cable for both the XLR and the Stream Deck.
So question: drivers?
Didn't have any problems with the drivers per se.
Okay.
I had problems with the VXT, the what do they call when we're looking at the wavelength software when you can
Mm-hmm.
add effects or in this case noise removal.
Mm-hmm.
So when I put in the noise removal, I don't know if it was a corrupted file or a corrupted filter or something like this. I'm not going to put it back on now because now that it's fixed, I want to leave it like that.
Yeah. No, I get it.
But I ended up with, and I'll see if you can hear this. So it was my first recording. So the monitoring sounded fine.
Mm-hmm.
Michael said it was fine, but when we actually recorded it,
that are part of that hub.
so without you having to manage each of those peering relationships.
So you don't have to do peering. You don't have to do all that stuff.
Did you hear that?
It's
Oh yeah. You sounded like you were in a tin can.
It was like a tin can. I was clipping. I was crackling.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually pretty bad. So I ended up removing all of those. And the second I removed them, I did some test recording.
Mm-hmm.
Problem went away.
Interesting.
But there is a difference. Like I'd love to hear the comments of the peanut gallery about like what do they think is the sound looks like, because it is a cone, so it catches a lot more sound from the room than your normal condenser mic. It's
Of
also
course.
further away from my face than the normal.
How's it sounded, folks? Let's jump in. Commentary.
Either that or I put them all to sleep.
Yeah, well, that's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, because now, okay, so noise removal. Frank says he had the same noise removal with the Rode software. Yeah,
Interesting. So it's sounding good right now. That's good.
Yeah, and I can switch now because of me and my compulsion to automate everything. So I'll
Of
bring in the other
course.
mic, and you can see that the LED ring is red, which means this
Mm-hmm.
mic is currently muted.
Okay.
But I do use the Stream Deck software plus a couple plugins. So I have one button on my Stream Deck. I hit the button. Now the ring is blue. Now we're
Mm-hmm.
actually using this mic, and my XLR mic has been
Shut off.
muted.
Yeah.
So you can tell with
So,
the difference.
oh yeah, you can definitely tell just because of the different style of microphone.
Well, the capsule is bigger. It's 3 inches from my face instead of a foot away from my face.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it has a more rich, more deep sound. So if I switch it back,
Mm-hmm.
but now I can, if I'm doing a podcast or if I'm doing a demoing a recording or just a Teams meeting, I don't
Demoing a
need that
Rick.
mic. Hey,
Demoing Rick. What?
I'm doing demos. I don't have to like have the mic in front of me, so it's
There,
freeing.
it's awesome actually. It does. I can tell the difference between the two microphones. Your the shotgun mic works great. The other one does give you a lot richer sound.
Yeah.
So
So if I'm doing a
pros and
voiceover,
cons.
I'll
Pros and
bring this
cons.
across.
Yeah, pros and cons of it.
Pros and cons, different. But
Like,
I know that not everybody would put the money into having two sets of mics like that.
exactly. I mean, in my case, I do have the two sets of mics. I mean, I have my mic setup, but like here on the road, I'm actually using Beats Pro Studios USB or Bluetooth,
Yeah.
and that's more for convenience. I did try to be nice to plug in my Jabra headset,
Mhm.
and it
I was
didn't
just gonna
work.
say,
We were having audio issues.
like the Jabra, which is like the 3.5 combo jack with a mic and earphones.
Yeah, I actually
Um,
have this one's a USB. That's this one's always it's a USB. It's always been a good backup for me.
hmm.
Can't see all of it because of the studio effects, but it's a USB connector, and it's always worked, no problem. The laptop
Today,
picked it up, but I couldn't get the microphone to work. So I don't know if it's damaged or if it's the computer or what it is.
yeah.
So,
And I have to admit, the Stream Deck Plus with the XLR built in,
hmm
it simplifies my desk.
that's good. That's
Because I
helpful.
used to have a second XLR, not XLR, a second Stream Deck and a Mix Create from Beacon for my sound. So I ended
hmm
up having like 4 different devices in front of my monitor
Yeah,
to control different things. With the Stream Deck Plus, now it's sound and everything else on one.
yeah.
So it frees up some USB ports and frees up some desk space.
Yep, and I'm not surprised it has crackle because of the Bluetooth and it being an in-ear mic. So, yeah, it's different. It's funny the different audio qualities you have to watch through. Um, and I had another set of Bluetooth earbuds that I was using with my work phone, and Costco just had the Beats Studio Pros on sale. I'm like, I have one set for my personal phone. I now have two sets. I have one for work and one for personal use.
I had the AirPods Pro. I still
hmm
have them. They're upstairs somewhere.
Yeah.
Um, but these days I'm rocking sound cores.
Okay. Yeah.
I've got 2 sets. The noise cancel, like I would say they're almost the same quality as the AirPods, but they're
hmm
less than $100 for like
That's
noise
cool.
canceling,
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Oh
I got
yeah.
a set in my car. I got a set in my bag. I got a set by the TV,
There you go.
but I
I
never
will.
use them at my desk because the Bluetooth latency. Um, I've had some issues with it.
So I will ask folks, how does I'll say this? How does my video look? And I ask that because I'm actually using some of the studio effects switches on my for especially the video. Obviously, you can see a little blur. I've got a little blur in the background, but I actually have it. This room's a little darker than I would prefer it, and so I actually am using the studio effects to lighten it a little. And as well, now we can also have a little bit of fun. I will also, as everyone has seen, my cameraman's having a tough time keeping up with me. You know, as I move around here, it's actually using the auto framing, so it'll catch up and move. So it's actually got a much wider field of view, and then it's auto framing me back to the middle.
Which camera is that though?
The built-in Surface camera.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah. And the other fun thing is, am I looking into the camera more often than not?
Oh, do you have the eye tracking thing?
Yeah, I've got the eye tracking on. So
I tried that when it came out with NVIDIA broadcast, like what, a year ago?
That was
if you
freaky.
turned your head a little too much to the side, like it was creepy.
Oh yeah. If I turn away, it shouldn't track my eyes. Like right now, it shouldn't be tracking my eyes. I'm looking at the totally left screen. But now that I come back, it should be back on.
But I did notice as you were turning, and all of a sudden your eyes kind of went ding.
Yep. I got a lazy eye. The other thing it can do, though, which is kind of cool, we were playing with this. I'm going to go ahead and play with this now, Pierre. It's got some filter modes. This is the illustrated, so it kind of makes me more look like an illustrated. Here's the animated. It actually smooths you out more. And then the watercolor, we were actually like, ooh, this looks freaky.
Well, that's kind of like the Carrie Lake effect.
Yeah, exactly. This one is like, yikes. But it's interesting, and they're going to, from what I understand, we're going to get more effects soon. I can also switch it from that was portrait blur, and we can actually go to standard blur. So
yeah. It's the Teams Beautify filter.
Yeah,
and it smooths out everything.
Yeah. Okay. Go Gadget 360 said, "Okay, never do those again." What? You don't like you don't like this? Go Gadget 360.
That's very creepy.
You got to get rid of my wrinkles.
We need a lot more than the filter to get rid of my filter, my wrinkles.
But I will say, I mean, this is all built in, and then I was watching the NPU, and the NPU is running about 50% on the processor or on the system right now, running 40 to 50%. So I still got overhead, which is kind of cool.
That's where the really the AI built in, the NPUs built into the new laptops. I think that's where they're the most. Like, I understand Copilot and building AI models locally and using the local resources as opposed to having to send the request to the cloud, have it processes and back down. But most people are not going to really take advantage of that in their day-to-day job or the day-to-day usage of a gaming laptop. But I do think that when you end up with like filtering, like right now your background is blurred, but it's not too bad. Like when I switched my background filter, if I go to virtual background and I do get it to blur, it's choppy.
Yeah.
And when I move my head, half my head it gets blurred before like it catches up.
Yep. The only choppiness I saw with this was when I was trying to show off the, this guy, and it got kind of weird. It did start blurring, kind of strange.
Because it doesn't know where it's supposed to look. That thing
Right.
is up front, but you're still here.
Yep. Oh yeah. Oh, there's one other thing that I absolutely adore that I've been using a lot of, and I'm going to share my screen to show everybody. So yeah, sorry. Say something. Start talking again, Pierre. Look at the top of the screen here, folks.
Something. I'm saying something. So, it's translating for you
Live.
or transcribing.
It's the what they call the live captions.
Oh, and that's in every. It's not just in Teams; it's in everything.
It's in everything. So, like when I've been watching some of our all hands,
Yeah,
I get better captions sometimes, and it
is
only
there a
captions what
possibility of
other people are
saving those?
saying.
Can you save those?
I haven't figured out if that's possible. I don't think you can.
Okay.
And as you can see, I've got the filter profanity. Well, that's off, of course. Now I can include my microphone
do you want me to
audio.
swear? Want me to be profane?
Let's do it. Why not?
Are we gonna get banned? Well, if I say it once, we're okay. I think it's.
I think we're fine with once.
Yeah. Fuck.
Oh, you went the big one.
No. See it. If it's still
It's
rolling
there.
out.
It's still there. So you can probably imagine with a lot of the meetings at Microsoft. Just kidding.
Meetings with Australian, that would be working overdrive.
Oh yeah, but it's something I can actually turn on anytime.
My Australian.
Yeah. Be profane. VMware is going great. We love Java. Oh wow. Yeah.
Well,
No, that's been working wonderful.
VMware solution on Azure is great.
Okay.
Because I've said now I can actually like bill my time to the business.
Yeah, there we go. No, I am super impressed with the capabilities of the NPUs, what it can do on top of just Copilot stuff. And what we're seeing, and this is one of those things that I hope a vision that I've heard comes true in how Windows becomes more of a management environment where it manages, this is an NPU type workload. That goes best on the NPU. Oh, the NPU is busy. I'll go to the GPU. Oh, the GPU is busy. Okay, let's just run it on the processor.
That's what it's supposed to be doing.
Well, we're not there yet. I think it's going to get there. I hope it gets there. I hope that's what drives forward the next few years.
But with the SoCs that are coming out, that's mostly the case. System on a chip where you have the CPU, GPU, NPU on one big chip.
But it's Windows figuring out where best, because then you could have a motherboard that's not a system on a chip with separate NPUs, with separate GPUs, and Windows just handles the workloads.
Yeah.
Or you could have two GPUs, and it knows, this is a better video card, and this is a better NPU even though it's a GPU. Great, I'll send the workloads. It just understands it and does it automatically, so that where I'm getting at that is where developers don't have to say, I need an NPU for this, send it to the NPU channel.
Mm-hmm.
It's all just managed by Windows.
So it's not an NPU, but I have this is my DaVinci Resolve. It's free. And I'm kind of in a love-hate relationship with Adobe right now, mostly because of their licensing stuff. But if I look at any recorded demos, and that's how I do my documentation now. I do the demo for somebody, I record it, then I go to it, and let me see if I can
Audio transcript. There you go.
So I can do transcribe for it,
Mm-hmm.
and it does it. And that's video took about less than a minute to go through the whole thing, and it just transcribes it. There's another
Nice.
section in there where I can create caption, where it not
Nice.
only creates the transcript, but it actually inserts the time codes into the right format, and then creates another track in my timeline where it actually includes all of the hot caption. Which this is something I used to have to pay Subply for our videos to get done, but without an NPU. But it does use the GPU fairly heavily.
Gadget 360 is asking, do they have the Adobe ability to take the transcription, edit the video based on that, like deleting a word and it deletes the matching video?
I don't know if it will delete the act. I haven't actually tested that. I don't know if
Okay.
it'll delete that section or that clip.
Mhm.
But it does. If you read the transcript and you click on a word, it takes you to that time code in the video.
Hey, why don't you take this VOD and get rid of that bad word?
I could.
Um,
I'll try it. I'll try it so we can.
that would actually be an interesting test for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Go Gadget 360 brought something up a while ago, and he was They were chatting about tried an external Thunderbolt GPU and didn't like it because there's no NVIDIA ARM drivers for older GPUs. I have been using, by the way, a for Java to delete it. Sorry, I got that out of the corner of my eye. That was good. I've been using an HP dock because my Privileged Access Workstation, also known inside Microsoft as a SAW, is an HP Firefly 14, and it came with a external dock that was USB-C / Thunderbolts.
Yep.
I can drive 2 4K monitors plus the laptop screen, no problem. Now, I'm told by the Surface team I could do that just plugging in devices on USB-C as well. But like, I am not even pushing this at all because it offloads those 4K monitors to the dock, or dock. It's a dock. So I ended up buying a second one, and so now I have a Generation 4 and a Generation 5. And here's the funny thing: I can't use the Generation 5 with the Surface Laptop 7.
But what brand is that? Is that like that
HP
one? Oh,
HP. They're both HPs. Here's the reason why I can't use the Gen 5 yet with my Surface Laptop 7.
Is that a driver issue?
The Realtek 2.5 gigabit network does not work. The 1 gigabit on the Gen 4 dock works great. The 2.5 gigabit driver is not available for ARM yet. The weird oddities of the world, my friend. The weird oddities of the world.
Well, we've had a crash course on drivers in the last few weeks.
Oh, yes, we have.
Like how dangerous using drivers that.
And shall we just take a quick poll? Did anyone have to deal with CrowdStrike in the past few weeks? I hope not. I hope everyone, or if you have, I hope you're all back up and running. I will say I was a little worried flying out here because first time I've flown Delta in years. So, yeah, unfortunately, yes. You're good now. Good to hear. I'm glad everything's okay. Glad to hear you're back up and running. That was a rough time for a lot of people. Now, I will say this: I am not happy with a lot of the media around that whole incident.
It's
For
media. It's clickbait.
I know, but they latch, and this is where they latch on to certain things and then don't let go of it.
Yeah.
Because has everyone heard Southwest Airlines runs all their systems on Windows 3.1?
Yep.
Everybody, oh my God, they do not run on 3.1. If you go back and read the original article that everyone is citing for this information, they're, how do I put it? The systems that they run, like the software was built back in the 3.1 days, but they're not running on Windows 3.1. They're running. This is part of the problems of. I will say this is this is, even though I'm a Microsoft employee and a very pro Microsoft person, this is one of our problems. The reverse compatibility we have is incredible because you can still run software that should not be running today because you can still run it. So,
But see,
yeah.
This is it's almost also a cultural thing, because
Mm-hmm.
if Mac decides, okay, we're updating our we're going from an Intel chipset to a our own silicon,
Mm-hmm.
and by the way, every app that used to work will not work again.
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't bat an eye.
Yeah.
We bring in a new version of Windows where maybe 15% of the apps will have problems running. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
God, we should all be hung.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm Curious Mob said, yeah, the initial MS bias was strong. Yes, it was. And hey, there is precedence out there. Totally get it. But once it was stated that it was only these CrowdStrike based machines with CrowdStrike installed, that never. It's like the standard thing you used to see in the newspaper. Headlines are on the front page, retractions are on page 7.
Yeah. I got calls that day from
Mm-hmm.
some of my old customers when I was in services
Yeah.
saying, can you help us recover?
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, it's not a Microsoft problem. Like, we have nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
CrowdStrike.
The
Like, it's the
only
driver, you have to roll back the driver. Well, how do I get to it? Well, you have to boot in safe mode and whatever. But if your machine is BitLockered, you have to get the key and la 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 la. Like,
it's all the answers people didn't want. But this goes back to, I will say it, where we have our culpability is we allow these companies to put drivers into that kernel space. That's part of the problem.
But I don't know if that's true. So for all of you listening to the recording or to the live, like the article that said that we are allowing third-party access to Ring 0 is because of the monopoly ruling from the EU Competition Bureau that states that we have to give the same access to third-party software to the operating system as we give ourselves.
I'm just saying the design in general, even giving ourselves that access, that was like, I mean, for many years, we moved the video drivers out of user space into kernel space. Yeah, it made it a lot faster, made graphics so much better. But then it opened up the software to glitches, whatever there.
Well, yeah, so the minute that one driver takes a nosedive, the whole system takes a nosedive. Yeah,
exactly. Like TRP 8472 said, headache trade-off and learning curve all in one. Yep. And it's still, to this day, I applaud all the IT pros that were able to fix the systems out there and get things back up. Yep. And you remotely had to go to their Windows directory and say, aha, then in the CrowdStrike directory to find and kill the file, and they say, oh, yeah. And then, of course, the always thing that I always hear from certain people, well, if they were just running Apple, I'm like, there's a reason why these systems don't run on Apple. So, just saying, they don't.
I got my MacBook back there.
Yeah, exactly. You can run personal stuff, and you can run your own things, but you can't run a company on Apple. There's no server software. There's no
You can.
there's no real server software.
Well, there are
When
still
you're running Apple server, you're running Unix, man. It's not Apple anymore. You're running Unix.
no, but even Apple has discontinued their server software.
Exactly. Because you're going to run on Unix, Linux, or Windows. Those are your server softwares out there, typically. So,
Yep.
I am one to say I prefer Windows, but I also know, we're running Linux now a lot internally at Microsoft. And it's great. Works good.
Two of the servers under my desks. Well, one is a Windows Server 2025 because testing and beta and building demos and building content.
Exactly.
The other one is a Linux box that I'm running TrueNAS on.
Yeah. Yep. And I gotta admit, we're a lot of our command and control now for a lot of the services that we run, my team runs, are on AKS clusters using Mariner Linux. Yes, it's a Microsoft variant of Linux, but it's just because we've made it so that it's still base Linux. I can't remember which kernel of Linux it is. It's off the base kernel of Linux, and then we've just it's written with Azure in mind. Works great. And it plugs right into our systems. Now, that's partially why the Mariner Linux is there. We can run other versions of Linux. We then just have to go in and install all the security packs and this and this and this. Whereas Mariner has everything installed. It's like, yay, let's go Mariner.
It's funny, TRP 8472. And by the way, what are you doing not at your post?
It's Friday night, man. Give the guy a break.
Oh, that's right. Time zones. But he's talking about the live stream that Heike and Jake Williams did.
Yeah,
I miss Heike.
That's huge.
In a long time.
Mm-hmm. And Johnny Chips with a Z shows up today. Hey, Johnny, good to see you, man.
Mr. Elgato himself.
Yes, it is. So we've talked a lot about a lot of different things today, and one of the big things, just to remind people, is this is part of what kind of we do. It's we're playing with the technology. I'm learning what the Snapdragon can do as a laptop. I will say this huge thing, by the way. I have yet to run out of power when unplugged and using it for a full day.
Oh, I'm sure.
With the Snapdragon. This thing is amazing on the power. It's amazing connectivity. I'm just blown away by that. And the power it has, even when on battery, is really good. So we got Andy and John are talking. It's 6 p.m. But Johnny's still working. Come on, dude. Grab a pint. Let's go. But
is it time yet?
Oh, technically I'm on vacay today. So after this is done, I might have to grab a drink. So
I got my hands on this one. That's the Weller's Special Reserve. Oh,
have you been listening to Mr. Campbell's whiskey reviews on Windows Weekly?
No.
They made a separate channel. We'll have to find it and post it out for Mr. Campbell. Oh my goodness. Take everything Mr. Richard Campbell, love you, sir, has done around in depth about .NET, in depth about programming, in depth with Run as Radio, and apply it to whiskey. He knows way too much information. Way too much.
Well, my wife
It's
keeps telling me I don't have a drinking problem. I have a bourbon problem.
see, I don't think it's your. I think your bourbon problem is more the fact that you don't have enough. That's the problem.
That's what I think. Like every once in a while, I get home and I got this new bottle, and she's like,
What's this?
"Why'd you buy that?" And I said, "Well, because it's a really good brand, and I've never tried this particular style or whatever."
Mhm.
And she's like, "Yeah, but you have like 15 bottles in the liquor cabinet." Yeah, but I want to try this one.
Yeah, there's every whiskey tastes different.
Yeah, and Mr.
Yeah.
Claus is coming for dinner tomorrow night, and I've got a bottle of Blanton's with his name on it when he comes in.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Andy, he does travel a lot. He travels as much as a lot of airline pilots travel. um, I've been actually meaning to chat with him, and some because I want to introduce him to someone on my team. For those of you, by the way, who are in the DevOps realm, there's a new offering from Microsoft out there for helping to run your pipelines better. The managed DevOps pools. It's actually run by members of my team, and the technology behind it is interesting as heck, especially because you can actually image your machines on the fly and have it re-image and have all of your build or test case. You can use it. We use it for building software, we use it for deploying software, and we use it for testing software. So you can build some stuff. Yeah, Johnny, I'll send you a couple links. I have them. There's a couple up on my LinkedIn. I posted to the. It's now public. Thank you, sir. There you go. It's all about managed DevOps pools. Like I said, the folks that run it are part of my team, and they do an incredible job. Like I said, we use it internally heavily. In fact, we're moving a lot of our build infrastructure on here, and you can use even the. That's one of the problems, or I shouldn't say problems. One of the things we're working on is getting it running on the confidential SKUs, so that we can isolate our builders even more, which is great. Yeah.
We were talking about that yesterday or 2 days ago.
Yeah.
I used to have scripts for building my own pool.
Yes.
Because if I was using my Visual Studio,
subscription,
you only had so many processing slices, and you had to basically get into the queue. So that's until the pool was free. So if everybody was doing something at the same time, using the free
the free pools,
the free pools, it was taking forever,
and it would take even longer because if you had to load all the stuff onto that pool member to do your build, it took a long time. These are pre-prepped, ready to go for you, available. You just pay for the compute.
But at the time, that was a while ago. You basically had to install all the dependencies on your pool ahead of time.
Yeah.
So if you changed your project, or if you decided or you're working on this project now that has a different set of dependencies because it's a different dev team that you're working with.
Yep.
Then you have to basically redo or add all these new dependencies onto your machine.
Yeah. Whereas this, you can just image that and recreate the image and away you go. And the other nice thing about that, let's say you're using Windows as your build platform OS, monthly patching, just rebuild it. Yeah. We've actually filled up an hour today. My goodness.
I know, and we were wondering if we had anything to talk about.
Oh, that's the problem. You and I get talking, and we could talk forever, probably. Let's say thank you to the folks that were in the chat room. Johnny Chips with a Z, who came in late. Andy, TRP8472, get back. Get back to your post, sir. I am Curious Mob. Thank you. Sorry you had to go through the crowd strike. That was not a fun weekend. Vizio MVP, always here. Thank you, Mr. Marshall. Appreciate you tremendously. We did lose Cooper's Humans. Mr. J Flow. Yeah, folks have been working here. Janice Q. It's good to catch up with you as well. And if I've missed anyone, I apologize. Mr. Pierre, thank you as always. We'll try and get back to you guys on a more regular cadence, but yeah, work. That's all I'm going to say. Work. Everybody take care and have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye now.
Cheers.